welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. We're doing a lot better for time, I think, um, than usual. Yes, I should probably put the Greyhawk, take off the Warhammer 40k tag and add the Greyhawk tag, just so that, so hi, my name is Lee, in case you didn't know. I am a lot of things. It's pride. I am I'm queer. No, I'm fucking queer, and it's pride, so, there's that. What else? Yeah, it's June. Oh, that means the 21st. I'm doing a fundraiser stream for Trans Lifeline. Also, fun fact. Um, that's fun. What else are we doing? Let's see. Okay, so let's briefly shut that down, and we are here. And okay, so for those of you who don't know, my name is Lee, and I am and today's Wednesday, which means we do Greyhawk. For those of you who don't know what Greyhawk is, it is a D&D setting. It is the first D&D setting. It is awesome, and it is, um, they don't do a lot of new Greyhawk stuff until recently, or they're doing a 2024 Greyhawk setting guide, which is very exciting. It's being revitalized. The only thing in 5e, 5.5e, the Greyhawk setting guide is going to be 5.5, and yes, there's a difference, enough of a difference that I really think they should have just gone with the 0.5. But before that, the only thing that was Waterdeep. No, not Waterdeep. Um, Saltmarsh. Ghost of Saltmarsh, which was set to Greyhawk, but they had a little note saying you'd set other places too, because everyone does. But yes, the Ghost of Saltmarsh was indeed the only Greyhawk thing that was in 5e, and it did a lot of interesting things with IP, and because Wizard of the Coast was really, really persnickety about it for a long time, and now they're stopping being so persnickety, but everyone's used to going through third party and just scrubbing serial numbers, so there's a little bit of tension there. But Wizard of the Coast. So the last book, last setting book for Greyhawk that existed was um, at least Down the Last by TSR was 1999, I believe. Ivid the Undying. It was definitely past 19. It was before the year 2000. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Voila. We can actually check the year. I have a PDF copy of it. So it never actually got. So what happened was TSR was going under and getting subsumed by Wizards of the Coast. And they had a. Um, they had this book, like, I want to say three-quarters, but closer to like 80% done. They just needed layout and a few maps, and they already had the maps. They just didn't put them in properly, and they were like, we just need to do layout. So, and they said, well, Wizard of the Coast was going to scrap it, and then they talked to some people, and everyone was like, a lot of fans petitioned them, hey, please, we're all excited about this. So they came to a sort of agreement wherein a few fans volunteered to do the layout, and it's released as a free PDF, and people got to see it because it would be a waste otherwise. And so that is what happened with this one here. I will show you that. So that was Ivid the Undying, which is named for Ivid the Fifth, who was called Ivid the Undying. Where's my PDF? Come on, I know it. There it is. Voila. Ta-da. See, that's the book in question. All right, and if I, Carl Sargent, it is copyright, 1995 TSR. So I was right, really early, but yeah. So the early days of the internet, but um, yeah, David the Undying. Yeah, it never got a proper print release, which is a shame. But the but it is canon, considered canon to Greyhawk, and it um, unofficially is unofficial fan content created by Grey Online is permitted under the fan content policy, not approved endorsed by Wizards. Content material used as property was the Coast. Yeah, okay, so it was basically like I said, it's a fan content because it's technically not published by Wizards of the Coast, but TSR couldn't publish it because they went under. So that's the map layout. If you look here, that's um, I guess the dead name of one of our editors, who is actually very awesome. So, fudging. All right. Sorry. Okay. Let's. Um. So. No, they have the UK and the US office. Okay. Yeah, so that's TSR. This was the last thing TSR made before they went under and got subsumed by Wizards of the Coast. So that's Ivid the Undying, which is these guys. That's I think Ivid is the one on the right, and the one on the left is his Fiend Sage Advisor. And there's his Animus. He has an undead army. Ivid the fifth is an anim or was an Animus, meaning living, intelligent undead, sort of lich adjacent, and he did a lot that to a lot of his other people too. Hydrate. Those of you in the northern hemisphere, it is hot and sticky and ugly and not fun, and we need to hydrate. All of us. Hydrate or dehydrate. Um, those of you in the southern hemisphere, enjoy the snow. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So, um, hydration is important. Right. So, oh, I went right through the ad break. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Which is a shame because usually I use the ad break for like stretches and stuff. Anyway, my point being, I got on a tangent. You didn't miss much. It was me tangenting about Greyhawk and about TSR and the whole thing with this particular supplement. And it's 2 o'clock now. Okay, so what I've been doing is we have here. Let me go here. We have Greyhawk Online, Great Library of Greyhawk, run by Greyhawk Online. It is a one of the best fan wiki for Greyhawk, and it is not quite complete yet. It's getting more edited every day. People are going through the old supplements. They're tweaking the wording. They're cross referencing, categorizing. It is an ongoing work. Anyone who maintains any kind of wiki, either Wikipedia Prime or any of the fan wikis or anything like that, knows that this is an ongoing process of making things, yeah, it is an ongoing and complicated process. And frankly, yeah, it is a complicated process. But my point is just, what was I going to say? Yeah, it's an ongoing process. And this is, and part of that is a lot of the stuff in Avid the Undying never got put on the wiki. And I realized that when I went to look for more information on Unseen and Roland, because the Sonor compact, named after the ocean, um, uh, didn't have didn't have any information on the other cities, and I mentioned that, and I was like, yeah, it kind of sucks. There's no information. It's interesting. They're like, oh no, there's tons of information on Roland. So they have like stuff, and they're like, just it's in Avid the Undying. So I got myself a copy of Avid the Undying, and yeah, there's plenty of information on Roland and Unseen, and that's when I started becoming a wiki editor. So I've been going through Avid the Undying in a bit of a slapdash fashion and putting in everything notes on everything. So um, eventually we're gonna have to go back to Edgefield because there's so much information on Edgefield and I need to make the whole page proper. But right now, what we're doing is we're going through. Let's see. So back to the PDF, right? So what we've been doing recently is this one is the North Province. You go through and then you do everything and you realize, oh, I went through this section, but I missed parts of it, or I forgot, or So we are basically going through. I just picked random sections that sounded interesting, and I've been doing that, and then you go back and forth and trying to get all of that. So, Navy, Beyond Province. Okay, threats to security. So, Fisherman's Gate. This is, East Fair. East Fair, not Edgefield. Edgefield is, we did, but East Fair has so much sub information that I really want to put in, but that is a long process. So, what we're doing instead is we've been going through Bellport. These are all the towns. We put all of this in the wiki. I had to go in 10 pages because of all of that and stuff. So these are all of the people. Each one has a little box. Oh yeah, Gretel, Grace Grenell, Herzog of the North. So we were doing Elkhurst, Prince of House Torcan, last time, if I recall correctly. So what we did is, so this is what you do when you want to say, okay, did we do Elkhurst or did someone else do Elkhurst? And because sometimes someone else will have it, and then you just have to go back and find out how to um, cross correlate and double check that all the information is there, and put in anything they missed, and etc. And see about sourcing and stuff. Okay, so is a stub. I think all of them are stub. Okay, so Prince Faz Torcan, who rules Atir province in 585, works with Grace Grenell, Prince Grenell. No, Grace Grenell, not Prince. Grace Grenell. Grenell is not Prince. Hang on. This is our first edit of the day. What I used to do is before I would stay permanently logged in, I'd do one edit before logging in, and then answer the question that they make you do before you log in. But recently there was a whole problem with bots and BS, so I basically just said, all right, fine, I'll stay logged in. But we are going to go Grace Grenell, not Prince Grenell. Grace Grenell, though the two do not get along well. Um, um, North Province, yes. Okay. Uh, Actually, no. Yeah. Grenell. One and two L's. I mean, here it doesn't necessarily matter, but there we go. Grace Grenell, though the two do not get along well. Oh, there's supposed to be a comma. Though the two. Yeah, this is what happens. This is how I started before I did any of this. It was like, oh well, there should be a comma there. Though the two do not get along well, and generally keeps the city out of external conflict. He is well liked as ruler. Yes, he's harsh but fair. Okay. Um, 6'2", well built. Cautious, and I probably should mention that he's very strict as a ruler at some point. Okay, appearance. Um, Strong and well built, full beard and brown hair, which he wears long, and his forearms are rather hairy as well. He notably has a streak of white hair just behind his ear, but otherwise is not graying. But it's otherwise not graying at all. Um, is hard but fair ruler, which is served in trade negotiations. He's cautious and never ambitious, thus steering off from needless conflict. Um, um, Possesses a number of magic items. Uh, Made by Morkent. Okay. Singing Defender Long. Okay. So someone else edited this after I made it and probably put Prince Grenell instead of Grace Grenell. Okay. We'll put a pin in that. Enemies swap front of me also wears potently enchanted plate mail, which lets me become ethereal. Trident of Fish command. Um, okay, hang on. That's um. Oh, I put them in list form. Somebody else changed it. I mean, it might have been in. Hang on. Someone else changed it. Hang on. View history. Who? Okay, that made me. Um, Abra Sagas. She's the head. I think she was canonically in the new lore the head of something, some library, and um, removing equipment list reworking article, rephrasing the word inaccuracy, wiki links, removing unused sections. Okay, I tend to keep a couple of unused sections at the end that I do get. We have an argument about the stylizing thing, but I guess she figured that didn't realize that figured there was nothing there and changed it, which is fair. Okay, computer is getting niche. Okay. Um, well, this is the back end. Oh, so for wiki editing, is what we do. We were getting to it, but my point on wiki editing is that um, I will actually ping Kit about that because she obviously changed the Prince. Unless I did Prince Gwendolyn, she didn't catch it, and then we might be able to hash out because there are certain things we've disagreed and we've hashed out a better option um, about things and right. Um, okay, that's that. So player selected revisions. Yeah, I am. Yes, punctuation does go after citations. Yes, punctuation goes after does go after citation. I agree with that. We, I guess I must mix it up then. Um, yes, yeah, I know punctuation goes after. I must have gotten that wrong because I always put it after. No, I always put the punctuation after. Yeah, punctuation goes after citations. Yeah, the punctuation goes. I always put it. I try to always put it that way. Apparently, I missed one. Okay, so okay, these are notes. Um, huh. Interesting. So curiosity. Um. Because it never specified that he was forced to break off the engagement, just that he did. I can see where that is. I said he was forced to break off the engagement because he specifically did not marry her because of that. So I would have put forced, but I guess it didn't very it was very vague. So that was a little bit of speculation on my part, I suppose, if it could be read that way. So yeah, okay, that's a fair change. I was curious because I actually very rarely go and check these, but I was curious on that. Okay, we're in the um oh, I see. We opened a new tab. Okay. Yep, yep, yep. All right. So um oh, verb tense. That's why I said it is. I was like, okay. Let's try it. Okay, yeah. Reworking or removing a okay, yes. So what we're gonna do is go to back to read. Okay. Let's start with read. Grace Grennel. I think that's a good comp. Yeah, Grace Grennel. I don't know if I put it as Prince or she changed it to Prince, but I think Grace Grennel is a good. Because he's. I don't know if he officially counts. I mean, I think he probably has the title of Prince, but I don't think that's usually what he uses. Um, title of Prince, I will say, is, in Greyhawk is thrown around like candy. Like dozens of petty lords use the title Prince because they're from one of the great families, and it isn't like um, most Earth monarchies where the title Prince is very specifically reserved for direct descendants of the king and of the king, and then you have a few upper generations who have the title from when they're the previous king. Um, but yeah, yeah. So you have sometimes have that, but um, like Prince Andrew in England. But my point is, yeah, Prince is in Earth, at least now in modern monarchies, a very very specific and restricted title to direct descendants. Here, it's a little more loosey goosey, and anyone from the big major families can call himself a prince, and it is there are a lot of people with the title prince who on Earth would just not take that title. But so that is a note. So Prince Grenville, Grace Grenville might take the title prince, but he is the Herzog, and that is his role. He doesn't serve the role usually served by princes in Greyhawk. So, eh. um, okay. Um, I would say calling him Prince Grenville's doesn't. I'll ask Kit because I'll defer to her if she says, well, it makes sense to call him Prince. I can defer to that because I don't think it's wrong necessarily. It just seems kind of wrong. I don't know. I might have done that and then just which is would also be not good. I not look at. I've never made mistakes before. Okay, so fair on that. Oh yes. So trident of Kish command. Um, okay. So turn into paragraph form. I possession of dried no fish command. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So there's that. I was more looking at, is there anything that we didn't put in that I could have put in? So we did break the engagement off. Um, uh, engagement fell through somehow. I did not know about the weapon being made by Morgan. That's probably from a different source book. Or I just didn't read carefully enough. Fritzian. Ah, yes, they actually put the actual names, which I didn't do because it said snow barbarians. I'm like, there is. They have different names, which is why I put snow barbarians in quotes. But Kit, yeah, she managed to find the actual what's it. So that's good. Torgan Holdings, 30 cents zone trips to bring them weapons, exchange for woods and furs. Diplomatic ties with local CLs, we the coast, thanks to one of his most trusted buyers, powerful elementalist. When Grace Gretel. Okay, that personalized interest needs. Okay, so that is definitely. I don't think I did it twice because she was editing that section anyway. Okay, hang on. We need to. I need to ping it about this. So, okay. Um, I usually pink it anyway, actually, given circumstances. Um, uh, um, okay. I need to. Um, I usually also try to ping because she comes in and hangs out and chat with us. And okay, now but what I need to do is find okay, where is basically what I need to do is A, ask Kid about that, and B, I think double check anything else that I might have missed or that she might have missed, and then we can move to the next one, and then we'll um, um yes, sorry. Uh, this is a thing that happens when you're editing wikis. Is that sometimes you'll have um, oh yes, Greyhawk Online. I was looking for the logo, and she did do the change to pride flag, which is fun. Okay. Um, I used to do. It was a summoning ritual, which came from a half joke. Um, oh, I didn't do the most important thing. Not the most important thing. But one of the things, yeah, because the stream apparently has gone off the rails a little bit. As streams do sometimes. I didn't do. Okay. now we go to. Okay, now we. Um, actually, okay. Let me actually look at the title for Grendel. Because we're actually going to move on to him next. So then we can check the title in. Um, his radiant grace, Herzog of the North, Prince. Yeah, so Elkur's Prince of Patriarch Hal, Dren, Haystern, Prince of the House Nalix, the Prince, Grace, his radiant grace. That's the title. Herzog of the North. He's really look strong jawline, piercing blue eyes, makes him look more like a bruiser than a priest. The grizzled old man. Oh, he's a priest. He's a cleric, priest of Hextor. Huh. Um, the grizzled old man is wise and crafty, good warrior too, with bracers, archery, longbow. Right, he can do the bows, and I accidentally gave um, Alcrest a bow, and then realized I was reading from the wrong one. Ooh, and he can detect if people are technically good, and it's kind of cool. Helm of comprehending languages and reading magic. That's a cool helmet. Odious man, overbearing and callous, treating most of the retinue as they were congenital idiots. He believes keenly that his temporal authority is beginning to slip away, even though his discerning nobles such as Elkers and Shella still pay taxes and tithes to him. Oh, right, because he thinks they don't respect him and actually respect his authority, which is true, but you know. Oh, right, I should bring back the PDF so you can see what I'm actually reading here. Okay. Though lawful, Grendel will use almost any resource, humanoids, poisons, assassins, or worse, to unify his kingdom, by carefully making sure that any really bright priest rising to the ranks of his church meets an unfortunate accident. Grendel's ensured his unquestioned preeminence. Ah, yes, killing off subordinates. That's great until you don't have anyone with any brains because you don't trust anyone who's smart, and then because you're afraid they'll usurp you, and that is how you get brain drain. And do not do that is a bad thing. Um, uh, right. And there's no obvious success. He has no goal of ruling Arity, believing that the Great Kingdom is sundered forever, but evil-hearted old man with a grip on iron has evaded Ibid's clutches and plans to rule North Province for years to come. Yeah, basically he doesn't want to be over king. Because during the so if you read the rest of the source book, basically during 580, everyone was kind of assuming that the Great Kingdom was falling apart. And so um, a lot of people were that and like, well, how are we going to make it fall apart in our favor? And various groups were trying to do different things. Apparently, Grendel was just like, it's gonna fall apart. I just want my kingdom. I want my province to be mine, and even if the rest of the kingdom falls, I want this province as mine. I want to be king, and he did. Or North Province became an independent kingdom, become the North Kingdom. I don't know for sure whether he um, ended up as king. That is beyond the scope of this particular source book. Um, but I'm pretty sure he did, unless he was killed. I have to poke around to figure that out. Prince House Torcan. Okay, so Grendel Torcan. Okay, so there's that. Um, Appearance, personality. Okay, so Trident of Fish Command. Um, Expanding out. Okay, so I think we're gonna keep Prince Grendel personally. Okay, yes. Well, oh yes, that's just a nice little. Okay, that's fair. Um, I feel like at some point, um, that is okay. So I know technically, um, but it until yeah, I feel like historical present is not a good one for that, just because it is very specifically he wanted this, and then XN became an animus and he can't marry his sister. Like, it is very clearly that stopped the marriage. So I feel like that's a very, very specific past tense sort of situation. I'll show you guys. I know historical present is a big one for various things, but I feel like that one really should be past tense. But we're gonna put a pin in that for now. Um, it's a stylized thing, and present tense in historical presence is makes sense in certain cases, and I personally find it, but it does make sense in certain cases, and there are certain cases where I wouldn't use it, but I realize it's perfectly reasonable. This one is one of those ones I'm like, maybe not so much. I'll have to ask Kit. That is a put a pin in that for now. Um, um, but yeah. Um, okay. We should add that. Um, let's put it in the beginning. We're gonna put this in the beginning, and skill and trade negotiation. That was in 51. 58. Let me see if it's here or in the other one that it talks about that, because I feel like that's an important note. That strict discipline. I feel like that's should be. Um, prospered. Had hoped, yes. So he definitely did not end up married to Siskinama. Maybe, I don't know if they were ever actually officially engaged. In fairness, he'd hoped to marry Siskinama, but then Anzin was an animus, and that stopped it. Whether or not he was actually officially engaged is a whole other thing. So here, let me look over here. And see what it says on that, and then move on to Grenell himself. And um, here we go. That's here. Yes. Key Trade City. Okay. Frost and Snow Barbarians, which, yes. Barbarians, okay, yes. Do not raid there. Trade for raiding shipping. Trade with Sea Barons. The Southern, Rilulu. Okay. Um, no position to Meritron at here, yes. Many more Flan, London Iridian. See, yes. Gathering, yes. Kelp. Um, Rulership appears high. Laws are harsh, with particularly severe penalties for thievery and any form of sabotage in the dockyards. Many of whom are guilty of trivial offenses in the penal code of the city. Um, okay. Let me put that's right. I think what we can do. Um, um, okay. Yes. Okay. Punctuation goes after citation. Punctuation goes after. It said punctuation goes after citation. Because that's how you. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put the period back. I know. Alright, yeah, there we go. I think that's fair. Check something. Tense. Okay. Yes, punctuation goes after citation. I, Alright, we're. Anyway, my point being. Um, I always do put punctuation after the citation. Always. Um, anyway, my point being. Okay, I think that's about it. I think we've gotten pretty much all of it. Um, we're gonna leave that for now. We said we're gonna leave that for now. Um, let me actually curiosity. Um, not here. Yes. Doesn't specify Grenell. It says Grenell, not Prince Grenell. Grenell. They're not using any title for him. Um, okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's about that. Okay, now. So, Grenell. Priest of Exeter. Scale mail. Shield not used. He doesn't have a shield. 88. Okay, that's survivor of all 62 years. Severely cropped iron gray hair, hooked to nose, strong. Okay, let's see. Bob. Um, let's see. So, I think we can do this. I think that works. Actually, um, you know what we can do? It's all in the same tense, but it clearly lays out the um um okay. Um yes. Okay, there's that. Um okay, I think that's a good way to phrase it. Keeps it in present tense, but is kind of just until, yeah. Because he, oh yeah, no, that's why, because until is a tense. Like, using, it is very, very associated with past tense because of the way it shifts tensing. Yes, that's why. That's why it sounded so janky, because until is such a tense thing, because it says this, it is literally, this stopped being, this is when this stopped being true. Um, or that this is when this stopped being the case. So to use that with present tense is, at least I think. But that's just me as an author. I don't know why it sounds wrong necessarily. Okay, we are actually going to do something else. We are going to move on. Just, we got hyper focused, and what we are going to do was go to Grenell. Oh, Grenell has a page. Okay, Grenell has a page. Far as Grenell, or Grenell first. Herzog of the Edit Novice and title of the Grand Prince of House Nelix. Okay, so he technically has the title of Grand Prince, according to this. What's sourcing on this one? World of Greyhawk. Okay. Um, Carl Sargent, Mark Lenz, Ava the Undying. Okay, so they talked about him in another Carl Sargent book from 1993. That's why. Okay. All right. So that's where all the other. Okay, that's fair. Okay. Overking from North Kingdom of North Kingdom. Right, right. So he became king of North Kingdom. He did become king. Okay. Severe Company, Gray Hair, Hook Nose, Strong Chin Jolly, and Piercing Blue Eyes. More of a brawler than a priest. Cousin, being as evil but nowhere near as demented. Survivor, wise and crafty, good warrior. Is Otis, overbearing and callous. Treats more threatening like idiots. Although lawful, he will use almost any resource available. Um, um, Hackstore and head of the church in North Kingdom. Okay, so they actually put his ability scores. I've been leaning away from that. 18th level cleric in 585 has progressed to level 19. So, right, so that's the discrepancy of is he a priest or a cleric? Is he both? Is he neither? Okay, or a cleric or a assassin essentially. That is yes. Okay, that's fair. Um, East Fair capital. Okay, he's capital scale. So it's brace of archery, helm of comprehend language, reading magic. Um, Used with a +3 longbow as okay. That source is Ibn Dying. Okay, same source. So we can add that he also has a +3 longbow because I feel like oh he has braces of archery and then he does have a magic bow. Pretty basic magic, but it is still magic. All right, so we're adding yeah, because he has braces of archery. Um, a did it put okay? So did it say longbow +3? Longbow +3, which I know is kind of but it is logic. Longbow plus 3. Yeah, if definitely another and in there. Okay. I mean, we could go with used with his. Okay. Um. Yeah, because that's just a difference of a stylistic difference between um, older source material and newer is that which is longbow plus 3 to plus 3 longbow. It depends on circumstances whether but it's changed. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I think pretty much every I think we got every other pretty much got the rest of it. History. Uh, his rating, Grace Grenell, the Herzog of the North Province. Okay, provincial. Um, launch counterattacks. Run on rebels against the Overking to stop Nyrund. Um, okay. Wait, hang on. That doesn't make sense. Because he was. This was. So. Okay, here's where this gets tricky because he in 1985 was still the Great Kingdom was still technically in exist. Yes, it had begun fragmenting, and different parts had all technically seceded, but had still been considered. Like it was in a weird place of are they technically seceded or not? It was still together. In he'd been animist. That's because the timeline that's a little janky because it was it didn't fragment properly until long after he was an animus. Now, granted, South Kingdom was also out for a while and did officially. It secondly they said they'd seceded. It was kind of an interest contested secession, but it wasn't until um, Roxas fell that it really broke, right? So I feel like that's a tricky one. And also, I'm not sure putting it in Grenell's specific page is the best play on that one, but okay, publishing history. Let's see what else. Um, um, okay, yeah, that's the publishing history is whether he was okay. Citations, same one. Um, yeah, okay. So okay, so this was all nine. Was the I wonder if they yeah okay. Is that the Greyhawk Wars? Because the Greyhawk, yes, the Greyhawk Wars did split, but Grenell question of is what was Grenell doing during all of that? Yeah, the South Province was janky, and Grenell had did that. He technically seceded, but he was by 1819 or 585. That's the one. He was still with the province was still the province in 1985. 585. Ugh, 585. So if he the province was still the province in 985 and not kingdom, then Grenell's rebellion. All right, let me see something because there's probably more on this up here. All right, I guess we're not gonna do anyone else today. We're gonna All right, we're gonna look at this because that's from the other source, right? But let me go back to the top here. And North Province, the start of North Province, and what it, as of 585, where they were, has seceded from the Great Kingdom, considers itself an independent nation. Okay, so it did officially secede. Okay, it just was still, it was contested secession. Okay, then that's fine. Um, yeah, during the Greyhawk Wars, that makes sense. Okay, um, yeah, it's still technically okay. It's the province. Okay, so Noble Herzog. Um, Holstery. Okay, it just. All right, that's fine then. Undercity. Okay, beautiful. All right. Okay, I think that would then stay. The only thing after that is what happened afterward. Um, the question? Yeah, the question is what happened after that? Because by 585, the wars were pretty much settled, and Niron had gone home. So when did Niron go home? Or when did that? Okay, hang on. And that, so they're an open rebellion, but when did they officially defeat Niron? Because I feel like that's an important Texas trade. Okay. During the Greyhawk Wars, he allied with human rights, bone march, desperation lands, with successful forcing a stalemate to create peace, but tense. Not a single coalition. So far, the different warlords have not indulged in traditional intertribal warfare. Just a matter of time. Human armies in some numbers still stationed in East Fair and Belport elsewhere within the. So they've still got the. A war to drive them back to the Bone Marsh would be ruinous North Province. At the present time. Okay, so there's that. So after that, the political nonsense. That's an important note. Which were supplied from the mines of Belport. Coin minted with these ores, except they were traded to the Sea Barons, Twin Cities, and from ports to the south. And camped along defense positions in and around the mines. But the works on the humanoids. Okay, so want to get something in turn. Radek, and no one wants to deal with Radek because they have cultural ties. Okay. Um, Powerful local rulers. Yes, this is why. Um, right. So that was the issue between Grendel and okay. Barbarian nations strongly allied with Radek, and oh, the barbarian nations. They mean the what's the one that Scalzi and Fritzi, I believe, is the term. Those terms. Yes, and they're allied with Radek, and so what's the name of the I'm falling. I'm mixing names, but Prince. We were just editing his page, and um, but he's allied with them. Elkhurst, yes, Elkhurst is allied strongly with them, so they can't. And yes, the Flan Barbarians, which are they have their own name, which okay. Um, Again, Seratic. The okay, so did they must have so is Niron still in 855 encamped? That is the question, and that needs to be answered because some supporters also unable to sustain his position. Prince Haldoran of Belport, Church Ruler and Church of Hextor, Aristan and his rider with two minor fiefdoms. Hastern of Edgefield, Nation Reich, Rinshern, okay. Yes. Um, Utterly unprincipled and treacherous. Okay, okay, so the political situation is tense. Um, Yeah, there's no organized resistance because everyone's kind of like hesitant. Um, it doesn't specify if the armies of Nairon left or not, and I feel like that's an important detail to leave out because, um, yeah, um, I don't, um, it doesn't specify that Nairon left. Posts whatever taxes. Um, yes. Okay. I think we should mention that the okay. Um, Grenell specifically. Um, 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 the okay, that I think that would be a useful one to mention. Held the title 970. Okay, so I think we should put that in here. Um, we're using present tense because, and we're going to spell Nyrond correctly. Puts Grenell in. Um, put CY in there. Radic as per agree. Uh, as a counter. Per. Let's see. Okay. How did they phrase that? Um, in exchange for their help in against Nyrond, except that um, okay, yes. Um, Nyrond. Um, um, uh, what's the word? Liege Lord. What's the other vassals? Okay. Um, um, no, I think that's, um, uh, yeah, I think that's it. Ivid, Undying, and you already cited Ivid, so that's fine. 44. Okay. Yes, and because it's Grenel's page, bring it back to what that does for Grenel would actually be very helpful. Um, yeah. Okay, that I think is sensible. Um, okay, so that is there. Okay, so all right, that's sensible. Does not specify when, but we can do that. Okay, I think that's good for Grenel for now. Let's go. It's 256. Okay, who? Let me look at. So we didn't do much in terms of creating anything, but we got a couple things settled. That's Grenel. Okay. Did I hear back from Kate? Because if she's not online, so usually she comes to the streams, and most of the time, whenever she can, she comes to the streams, and we can poke at her. And I don't have chat. Unfortunately, I guess no one's watching today. That's okay. Sometimes we don't have a lot of viewers, and that's all right. It will go up on YouTube. So, in fact, apparently, so funny story. Um, someone mentioned, oh, you haven't done Greyhawk, the Good Morning Greyhawks in a while. I'm like, yeah, I switched to Good Afternoon Greyhawk. You'd be like, wait, you're still doing it? And I said, yeah, I've done like dozens of them. And I said, but you're not watching Twitch? And no, I watch them on YouTube. And I was like, oh, because I hadn't made public a lot of them on YouTube. I used to upload them before. What I would do is upload them privately and then go through and change them all to public. And I haven't, and I'm still well behind on a lot of those. So I ended up just switching it and just doing it publicly. So if you end up watching this on YouTube, um, hi. Not a lot of people watch it on Twitch. But yeah, we didn't do a whole lot today, but we did update a few things. Okay, let's. What we wanted to do was who's after Gretel. That is the question in this. So we're going through here, and then I got sidetracked by. We're going through the people in the bottom here section of North Province, Port Bay with the whale cleansing. Grenel, yeah, and then we Grenel, and that's why. And then I realized, oh, because he was mentioned in other books, he already had a page. Okay, Drem. Let's see if Haldrem has a page. Okay, they're gonna start an ad break. You know what? That's fair. I'm gonna take a stretch break, get some more liquid, then we'll check on Haldren, and then we'll see what we can do about that. I think that let's do real quick, because yes, Hextor, Prince, Patriarch of, no, okay. So he doesn't have a page, but he needs one. Okay, let's go to main page. What we'll do is what we can do is very baseline, bare minimum to be reasonable page. And then, that's how we do. Okay, and then we will, and then we can expand it as with chance, and just remember when we come back, character. Make sure we spell right. Okay, let's. Alright, I'm gonna. Yep, stretch time. Let's do it. Okay. Alright. So, let's go. Held room. We're gonna actually do some things. Alright, I'm back. I am back. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Okay. What? Hi. Whew, hello. Alright. Here's the plan. Let's. I'm gonna do just the introduction, and then we're going to, um, probably end the stream there, but I want to at least get that set, and then next week we will get Haldren and, yes, we will get Haldren next week. That is our plan. Is it a good plan? No. Maybe. It's a plan. That's how we do. Okay. Haldren. Okay, so let's make sure we spell his name right. That is the first thing because Drem. Yes, because if you spell the name wrong, you can't do anything with that. Sorry about that. Um, let's see. Okay. Um, let's do that. Okay. Haldren, because I did 14th level plays pack store. He's malodorous, ugly, and fat. Oh wow. Greedy magic items, many, including the ring of free action, ring of melting, mind shielding, and always wears a few magical wands of enemy detection, fear, and magic missiles, among others. He's believed to have a librum of ineffable damnation. Seeks to trade this for a suitably powerful magical item he can use. Born born bully coward. The minister of Belport. Okay. Hiding in vestry. Okay. He's a priest. Okay, priest of Exeter. Cruel and retinue of junior police. Extreme ugliness. Tactical sense. So he does. Precognitive. Oh yeah, he's a good idea. Okay, so he's good at reading enemies. So what we can do with this? Okay. So um, um, okay, a prince of technically a prince, right? Is he technically a prince? Is he the one? Is the patriarch? Um, high level. He is not a prince. It's one of the few. Um, um, North Province. Um, 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 yes, fierce devotion to the Herzog. Um, 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 yes. Please. Um, let's see. What else can we say? Um, um, yes. Disliked. Yes. Yes. Okay. Disliked by the people of Belport. He has that strict policy. Terrified. Yes. Um, 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 uh, mostly for fear. Is still pretty good. He is disliked by the people. Yes. So that gives him time, place, what he does. That's a good basic level of 585. He's the ruler of Belport. That is, and he's cowardly and strict and mean. And okay. Um. Okay. Boom. All right. If I can put all of them back, worst comes to worst, but oh, I should probably fill that out. Okay, at least some of this. Name. Title, occupation, patriarch. Um, priest. Belport. Alignment is lawful evil, neutral evil. Lawful evil. Gender, male. Race, human. Patron deity, Hextor. Yeah. Okay, that's good for now. Yeah. Good. Basic. Occupation. Alignment. Yeah, that's good. Basic one. Alright. Alright. That is enough for today. I need to end the stream soon. Ahoy! Hello, hello. I was just about to end the stream. We got bogged down in details about Grenell and his political position and when the heck Nyron, because at some point after the Greyhawk War, Nyron must have left, but it's very unclear, and I need to get clarification from somewhere, and there's no source. So, bleh, exactly when Nyron actually pulled out of North Kingdom, if they ever did, um, or they're just sitting on the border, which, but yeah, so I spent some time poking around on Grenell's and, um, trying to figure out, Elkhurst and Grenell and bleh, the whole situation. Barely got this guy, and next week is more on him. But I need to prep for it. It's longer than I usually stream, even. Um, but and then I got distracted at the very beginning trying to explain Greyhawk, and so we got started late in a whole host of things. But yay, hello, hello, good to see you. Alcantara is really cool, and you shall go follow her. Basically, she does Greyhawk stuff and also fighting games, and is trying to combine the two in a really cool way. Yay! Oh, also, you should join my Discord where she talks about all the cool stuff she does, and I talk about all the cool stuff I do, and it's just generally a cool place to hang. Other than that, take care of yourselves. Hydrate, everybody. Hydrate or dihydrate. Even in the southern hemisphere where it's winter. But especially in the northern hemisphere where it's disgustingly hot. Yep. Thank you all for hanging out. Take care of yourselves. Okay, that's important. I will see you tomorrow for something fun. We'll figure it out then. Something non-Greyhawk, but also fun. And if Elkatar's here, then she's not streaming, so we're gonna have to figure out who else we're gonna raid into. But yay, let's see, who can we raid? Sable's probably on, right? Sable is. Yeah, so Sable is. Let's go raid. I haven't raided Sable in a while. We'll go and raid Sable. She's very cool. She does world building. Technomancy. Ooh, that's fun. And is actually very relevant. So we need to. I need to look more on that. Off we try. Come say hi to Sable with me, alright? Are we ready? Yep, let's go.